All right, I want to know what your dad said to you after the missed dunk in Boise, and what was going through your mind when you came down with one last night.
That one was short-term memory. Once I missed it, I laughed it off. I'm glad we were able to get that with the win without it being a big factor in the loss. My dad always makes reactions. I was notorious for missing dunks in high school too. Freshman year I tried at least 10 dunks before I got my first one. So I've never been scared to miss a dunk. Last night I wasn't really going through my head. I got the steal. After like 2 dribbles, I was like, I'm about to take off and go dunk this thing. So it was more of just me in the Boise game. I thought Degourville was a lot closer to me, so I didn't know if it was going to be a layup or if I was going to be wide open. And after watching on film, I was wide open. So, I could have easily went up and dunked it, but it was a little bit of hesitation behind that one.
I think they showed your dad on TV.
Yeah, I seen the little reaction. He loves to give little facial reactions. I just laugh at it.
Miles, how about the performance of Chemo Ferrari last night?
Oh yeah, we love having Chemo out there. I think there was a good stretch this summer where Chemo probably led us in scoring in our team practices. We all know what Chemo's about. He's a hard worker and a great energy guy. I think something that's been slept on is the energy he brings on the bench every single game. If you watch, he's the first guy up after every good play. So I was just happy he was out there able to get his moment. And you see, San Diego loves him just as much as we do. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the timeout Coach called? You guys were down 20-8, and all of a sudden you flipped. What exactly happened during the timeout, and how were you guys able to adjust?
I think everyone in the NBA house knew we weren't playing to our ability. So the timeout was really just to calm us down, just lock in. You can't come into the game sleepwalking, and that's what it felt like we did. So I'm just glad we were able to take that timeout, came out the timeout. We talked as a team, the 5 that were on the court. It was just like, let's turn this around. We got to do it defensively, and that's ended up what happening.
You had a really good game in the pit last year. One of your better games this season. What do you remember about that, and what have you told your teammates just about the pit?
Yeah, I've just been telling them it's going to be great atmosphere in there. Similar to VA House, they're very faithful fan base in New Mexico. So it's going to be a sold-out game. We're going to have to be able to come in there composed and not let the environment, get us out of our element. I played well at the pit last year, but we didn't get a win. So, hopefully that changes this year.
What have you told them about altitude? You're really the only guy I think Wayne's had with BYU, but has had like meaningful, regular, extended minutes in altitude or never even been in it.
I just say you got to prepare for it, days before the game, you got to keep hydrating. Serge does a good job of getting us the beet juice, which helps out with the elevation. But at the end of the day, something Dutch always says too, it's also a mental aspect. If you could block it out mentally, then you're playing a normal basketball game in a great environment that every person would love to play in. So as much as it might tire you out, if you're out there giving it your all, we got enough guys on our bench where you could go hard for 3 minutes, ask for a sub, and come right back in. So,
what was your first game at altitude, and what do you remember about that experience?
I don't remember the first game that I played at altitude. I remember the Colorado State game at Colorado State last year. We all were feeling it really early in the game. I came in, as a little spark plug. We went on a little run. And after I came out, I went to the hallway with a water bottle and just poured water all over myself. My calves started shaking. It was a rough event. But I'd say my first interaction with elevation that was warming up my freshman year, my redshirt year at Laramie. We ran down the little tunnel onto the court, and before I even took a layup, I was gasping for air and stuff. So elevation definitely is a thing, but if you're mentally tough, you can block it out.
Is it more of a physical or more of a mental thing?
It's definitely physical too. You feel it in your body, a little bit more sluggish, a little bit less fast. But like I said, mental toughness is more than physical toughness in my opinion. So if you're able to block it out mentally, it does some justice for you physically too.
Last thing about that, have you been talking to your teammates about altitude, or have they been asking you about it?
It hasn't even came up really. We all know we're in the Mountain West, so we all know elevation's a thing. That's addressed before you even come to campus. You're playing in the Mountain West, you're gonna go to multiple sites where you're playing above sea level, and but Serge is really the one that's educating people on it. So.
And Miles, real quick, back here in San Diego, it's a 10 a.m. tip. So your thoughts about playing that early in the morning?
We've been on break for the past 2-3 weeks, and we practice at 10 o'clock every day. So we're gonna be ready for it.
College, getting that award, is that something that you knew when you came into the league, that they give those out every week? Is that something you strive for every week?
I just strive for winning every week, and the awards come with winning, so I'm just going to keep on focused on winning.
Just ask this to Miles, but most of you guys in this team have never played at elevation. You actually went to school in elevation. What was that like the first time you got there? And what did you learn from that experience you could apply in New Mexico?
Well, it's going to be tough at first, and when that second win hits, then we'll be all right. But, like, we have to come in there with the right mindset. We can't think we're going to be tired because of the elevation. We're going to have to push through.
What was it like when you first got to Wasatch and experienced the elevation the first few days?
Oh, it was hard. It was hard. Like, hard breathing. It was just, I had to get used to it for sure, but it's not that bad.
Your thoughts about playing at a 10 a.m. game? It's going to be 10 a.m. back here at tip-off.
I like earlier games better than later games, so I think it's going to be good. We just played at Boise a little bit earlier too, so we played pretty well. So I think it's going to be fun.
Talk about what the team feels like right now. You got the big win at Boise and a rousing win last night. What's the attitude of the team right now heading into New Mexico? Always a tough game.
Yeah, we're not thinking about what we did. We're thinking about what we're gonna do, and that's gonna get this dub no matter what. Like however it looks, we're gonna try to get this win at the pit.
And your thoughts about the performance of Chemo Ferrari last night?
Oh yeah, Chemo's amazing. Like always, it comes to work every day, and we don't have a better teammate than Chemo, so he deserves all the love he gets.
As the season's gone on as a freshman, what have you learned most about this level? What about college basketball?
I just learned that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, so you have to be able to stay strong and just stay focused every day.
Is there anything like technically in terms of the game, in terms of whether it's speed, physicality, defense, offense, that you feel like you really improved on, you learned about?
Yeah, defense, I've really improved on defense, honestly. Just being more aware on that end has been a big step for me personally. So, defense. Yeah.
You came from a pretty good defensive background, or known as a really good defensive player. Is it just a whole different level of defense when you get to college?
Yeah, in college, like the speed's different, the physicality, like everybody's gonna be strong, everybody's gonna be fast. So it's all about like just staying focused and staying locked in the game.
I heard you had a lot of family here last night.
Oh yeah, I had my mom here yesterday.
Just your mom? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. No other family.
I had my mom here yesterday.
She's been covering all the games, right?
Yeah.
What's that like for you? I know how close you are.
I love that she comes to most of the games. I really appreciate that.
Is she a fan or is she a critic after
She's both. Mainly a critic. She's gonna tell me what I need to work on every time. She's like my biggest fan and biggest hater.
the game? So like, okay, you had this really good game in Boise. What did she tell you after the game? What was the criticism?
It wasn't good enough. Like you could do more. You could keep getting downhill like that every time. So
Like that or?
yeah, of course. I need that.